Okay, welcome to today's class. So today we are going to look at question. I will take my time to read it within 6 minutes, then we'll solve it together. Abuja Limited acquired 80% of Abaji Limited's ordinary share on January 1, 2015. The company paid an immediate 5 naira per share and a further payment of 19,440 million naira in cash. The company only recorded the cash consideration of 5 naira per share. The two statements of financial position as at December 31st, 2015 are stated below. So we have the financial statement, non-current assets, property, plant and equipment, development cost, investment, current assets, total assets, equity, ordinary shares of 1 naira each, share premium, revaluation reserve, retained earnings as at January and as at December. So the one for year to December 31st, 2015 is the profit for the year. So we now have non-current liabilities, 8%, intercompany loan, current liability, total equity and liabilities. Additional information provided are the parent company Abuja Limited value non-controlling interest. The value non-controlling interest the question is not complete. The development cost of Abuja Limited was completed on June 30, 2015 at a cost of 9 million naira. As of December 31st, 2015, 1.8 million had been amortized. Abuja Limited had capitalized 3,240,000 at the acquisition date. However, the directors of Abuja Limited are of the opinion that Abuja Limited development costs cannot be amortized as an asset because it does not meet the requirement of IAS 38. Abuja Limited bought goods from Abuja Limited. One third of the goods were still in the inventory of Abuja Limited at December 31st, 2015. The goods was sold to Abuja at the profit of 1,080,000 naira. So provide figures for the following. Required: A. You are required to calculate the non-controlling interest. B. Goodwill. So we'll be doing this. Now the question did not require consolidation of financial statements. You should note that. The unrealized profit will now be 360,000. How do we get the 360,000? It's 1,080 times, they said one third. So this should be deducted from the retained earnings of Abuja Limited from consolidated inventory. So first of all, take care of NCI. So how do you get your NCI? First of all, you have to get your NCI as a date of acquisition. Now, if you look at the question, you would observe that NCI is calculated using now we have net assets is this, we have share premium is this, we have retained earnings is the this is workings. Number one, we want to calculate our net assets. And how do you calculate net assets? You bring in the share capital of the subsidiary, which is 14,400,000. You bring in the share premium as a date of acquisition, which is 7,200,000. You bring in the retained earnings, and retained earnings is 24,120,000. You understand? Now you also bring in fair value surplus of land, 3.6 million. You bring in brand name, 7.2 million. Now development project, which was already added in the financial statement of the subsidiary will be deducted. So that is why we deducted this value. So we now have this. So this is our net assets. Are you there? Good. That is working number 1. Working number 2 is retained earnings of Abagia. How do we calculate the retained earnings as at date SOFP? Is this less unrealized profit. So these are profit that affected Abaji that you need to deduct from Abaji, less amortization, and also add accrued interest, because this accrued interest had already been deducted. So you add the accrued interest, which will give us 864,000. So we have 37,684,000 naira. Now I will try to identify all these for you. Therefore, we'll move down to the question. Here, the question is already here. So this is the question. Now the parent company, I've read this before. So we now have Abaja Limited revalued land and building using fair value, which resulted an increase of 3.6 million at the acquisition date. You saw this one where we took care of it when we treated net assets calculation, and a further of 720 at December 31st 2015. So you can see that this 360 million is the excess increase in revaluation as at date of acquisition, and as at the reporting date it also appreciated by 720, and we were not told if this has been accounted for. They said, and the fair value which resulted in an increase of this at the acquisition date and a further date. So we were not told it has been treated, so we have to treat them. Now additional information 3 reads, Abaja Limited have line of products with a brand name valued at 7.2 million with an estimated life of 10 years. The brand name is not included in the Abaji statement of financial position on this date. So what do? This value will be treated accordingly. Brand name is normally considered during acquisition, so we'll add it. Now the next one is a loan of 10.8 million was granted to Abaji. So that loan is an intra-company loan. The loan interest is payable annually in arrears. Abuja Limited did not receive the interest due and paid by Abaji for the year until after the year end. Therefore, Abuja Limited has not accounted for the Abaji accrued interest. So Abaji already had deducted this accrued interest. So what do? We add it back because it's not supposed to be deducted since it is an intra-group loan. Development project of Abaji Limited was completed at a cost of this as at December 31st 2015. 1.8 million had been amortized. Abaji Limited had capitalized 3,240,000 at the acquisition date. However, the directors of Abuja Limited are of the opinion that Abaji Limited development cost cannot be recognized as an asset because it does not meet the requirement of IAS 38. So now let's look at this carefully. They had already capitalized 9 million as a date of acquisition, and 1.8 million had been amortized. So Abaji Limited had capitalized 3 million. Okay, the cost is 9 million and they have amortized 1.8 million. So Abaji had capitalized 3,240,000 at acquisition date. So this amount capitalized will be deducted at the acquisition date. However, the directors are of the opinion that Abaji Limited cost cannot be recognized as an asset because it does not meet the requirement. So this amount that is capitalized will be removed and the amortization will be added back. So Abuja Limited bought goods from Abaji Limited 1/3 of the goods were still in the inventory of Abuja Limited at December 31st, 2015. The goods was sold. Now, so the next quick is now they now told us that Abuja Limited bought goods from Abadi, so this one is not an issue. So let's go back to the solutions. I've read this carefully, so I'll be explaining now. So you can see why we deducted this unrealized profits and why we also deducted the amortization of goodwill. Then the accrued interest was added back. 8% is the interest. So since it was already deducted, you add it back. That is how we got this retained earning. Now, let me re-explain the net assets. The share capital comes in, share premium comes in, that is not an issue. Retained earnings comes in. We'll take the retained earnings as a date of acquisition, which is 4,120,000. We'll now bring in the fair value of land. We'll bring in the fair value of brand name. We'll remove the development cost that was capitalized, since it cannot be capitalized, of 3,240,000. So that is how we did this net assets. So let's go back and calculate the two things we were asked to do. A is NCI. NCI is 14,940,000. How was it gotten? We used the net proportionate method. The proportionate method is simple. You take this value, you multiply it by the percentage of holding of the subsidiary. So if you multiply this by 20% of NCI value, that is how we got our NCI at date of acquisition to be 14,940,000. Add pare, you can see pare in your net assets. When you add pare, you have this. Then you now, this plus this will give us the NCI at date of report, the NCI. Now they told us that the fair value of NCI at date of reporting is this value, whereas what we calculated of NCI is this value. So since it is this way, the difference between the both will give us impairment of NCI. That is how it was gotten. Now we'll move down to goodwill. Goodwill, you bring in the share price. How do we get the share price? The number of shares is 14,400, since it is 1 naira each, times 80%, whatsoever it gives, to multiply by 5 naira, we now have this. Now we'll also bring in the further cash payments of 19,404,440 naira. You now bring in your NCI at date of acquisition, which you already know. So the additions of all these will give us this value. So you now less NCI at date of acquisition, which we calculated. So when you less your NCI, you now have this value. So this is positive goodwill. So now you less impairment. How do you get your impairment? You now say 3,433 divided by 0.2 times 80. This is impairment of NCI. Since this is impairment of NCI, look at it. It means the impairment for goodwill will be divide this by this times 80. This is what we have. I hope you are following. This question is very technical, so if you listen to it finish, you can ask me questions on WhatsApp, or you can ask me questions on the forum where the class is held. You can see chat button there. So that is how we got this. So when you do this, you have this value. So take it away, you now have this. So this is our goodwill. So with this, we'll now look at consolidated share premium, which is simple. Bring in the parent company share premium of this. That is all. So we have consolidated retained earning. Bring in the parent company retained earning in your statement of financial position. You now bring in your pare. The parent company will take their own percentage. now less accrued interest that they have already recognized, you less impairment of goodwill, you now have this. So this is how it was treated. So look at it and drop your question accordingly, and it will be attended to.